Top 10 centers heading into the 2024-25 NBA season. With the rise of the three-pointers, post scoring was slowly phased out of the game. Centers were reduced to just being defensive anchors, with a few exceptions who could do a lot more. But with the game evolving, the players have also evolved too, and the top centers in the league have found new ways to succeed and dominate. Let's take a look at the top 10 centers in the NBA as we enter the 2024-25 season. Note, Chet Holmgren deserves a spot on this list, but with the Oklahoma City Thunder adding Isaiah Hartenstein, it remains to see whether he qualifies as a center. 10. Jarrett Allen, Cleveland Cavaliers. 2023-24 stats: 16.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks per game. Jarrett Allen finally signed a contract extension this summer, putting an end to the third off-season of trade rumors. The one-time All-Star has been a key player for the Cleveland Cavaliers since his arrival in 2021, but his overlapping skill set with young phenom Evan Mobley led to the trade conversations. With that finally in the rear window, Cavs fans will be hoping that new coach Kenny Atkinson will have a better way to unlock their frontcourt and how to get the most out of Allen. Jarrett Allen 2024 playoff stats. The 26-year-old had his healthiest season last year with 77 games played in the regular season and averaged a career high in points per game, only to suffer an injury during the playoffs. He had a great start in the 4 games he played, but had to miss the rest of the postseason due to a rib injury. The Cavs still look good without him on the floor, so he will have to figure out a way to ensure he's not played off the court during those big moments. 9. Kristaps Porzingis, Boston Celtics. 2023-24 stats: 20.1 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks per game. Kristaps Porzingis was supposed to be the next big thing in New York, but it didn't work out, and he ended up on the Dallas Mavericks alongside fellow European sensation Luka Doncic. The Latvian showed some promise as a second option, but his incessant injury troubles never allowed the Mavs to flourish. They eventually traded him to the Washington Wizards, where he spent just over a year in purgatory before the Boston Celtics brought him in to be the best third option in the league. Kristaps Porzingis 2023-2024 stats. In the 57 games he played, he lived up to the tag and thrived in the new role, averaging 20.1 points with career-high efficiency. His injury problems were not yet behind him, but the Celtics still cruised to a title without needing him, as he played just 7 playoff games. However, with the East heating up, the C's will be hoping Porzingis can stay healthy, as they will need him to step up if they want to repeat.
8. Alperen Sengun, Houston Rockets.
2023-24 stats: 21.1 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists per game. Being nicknamed Baby Jokić would add a lot of pressure on a player, but not for Alperen Sengun. He invited those comparisons and went on to average a team-high 21.1 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists per game, as he established himself as the main man for the Houston Rockets for the foreseeable future. Sengun had all-star shouts, deservedly, but unfortunately missed out. He took the snub on the chin and had a monster 45-point game against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. Alperen Sengun improvements by year. The Turkish star has improved on almost every front each season and is developing into an offensive hub for the Rockets with his excellent post moves and his adept playmaking. The lack of progress with his jump shooting has not been ideal, but he had a career high in attempts, which shows he wants to expand that part of his game, and that should lead to eventual progress. 7. Domantas Sabonis, Sacramento Kings. 2023-24 stats: 19.4 points, 13.7 rebounds, and 8.2 assists per game. This ranking might be a little low for a back-to-back All-NBA player, but Domantas Sabonis is probably used to being underrated at this point. The Sacramento Kings star led the league in rebounding for the second straight season last year, while averaging a whopping 8.2 assists per game that went completely under the radar. Nikola Jokić and Wilt Chamberlain are the only other centers to average more. Since being traded to Sacramento in 2022, Sabonis has been the offensive hub for the Kings, who have been one of the most exciting teams in the Western Conference. The Lithuanian has already proven to be a great regular season performer, but the biggest question for him this season will be how he handles the playoff atmosphere. After an embarrassing first-round series against the Golden State Warriors in 2023, followed by a forgettable play-in game against the New Orleans Pelicans this year, Sabonis will be eager to put those poor performances behind him. 6. Rudy Gobert, Minnesota Timberwolves. 2023-24 stats: 14.0 points, 12.9 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks per game. Despite winning his record-tying 4th Defensive Player of the Year award, Rudy Gobert was trolled because of an ISO possession against the best defensive guard in the league, Luka Doncic. This was in a series where Gobert finished with the best on-off court numbers for the Minnesota Timberwolves, among players who averaged at least 20 minutes per game. Timberwolves on-off court net ratings versus Mavs. The Frenchman was an integral part of the Minnesota Timberwolves' run to the conference finals for the first time in 2 decades. Without him orchestrating the defense, the Wolves would not have been able to make that run. When he returns to the NBA court in October, Gobert will be eager to remind everyone how important he was to the Wolves' success after being benched during France's silver medal run at the Paris Olympics. The Timberwolves will need his rim deterrence, elite rebounding, and winning defensive plays if they are to make another successful playoff run. 5. Bam Adebayo, Miami Heat. 2023-24 stats: 19.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 3.9 assists per game. Bam Adebayo has been one of the best defenders in the league for several years, but it wasn't until last season that he finally earned all-defensive first-team honors after 4 straight second-team appearances. The Miami Heat star also had an improved season offensively as he attempted the most mid-range shots he's ever taken, and also attempted 1.6 threes per game in his final 17 regular season games, making 50% of them. While his shooting was a bit worse in the playoffs, the Heat finally saw Adebayo become an aggressive scorer with Jimmy Butler injured for the entire series. Bam Adebayo 2023-24 stats. And that's exactly what the 2-time All-Star will be expected to do throughout the 2024-25 regular season. The Heat stood pat in the offseason, while their Eastern Conference rivals continued to improve. With Butler often coasting through the regular season, Adebayo will be forced to take that next step, or the Heat could be left behind. 4. Victor Wembanyama, San Antonio Spurs. 2023-24 stats: 21.4 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 3.6 blocks per game. Victor Wembanyama was dealing with generational labels before he entered the NBA, and still went on to exceed all expectations in his rookie year, even if he himself doesn't think so. The Frenchman has been compared to Kevin Durant on offense and Rudy Gobert on defense, 2 future Hall of Famers. And yet, by the end of the season, it didn't seem unreasonable. The defensive impact he brought was unprecedented, as players completely avoided the rim with Wembanyama around. He finished as the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year on a 22-win team, and it felt justified. Most stocks, steals plus blocks, NBA 2023-24 season. He followed up his memorable rookie campaign with a silver medal at the Olympic Games, having led France at just 20 years of age. Unsurprisingly, he set himself even higher expectations for the 2024-25 season, but they're not unreasonable for the kind of progression he's already shown. With the San Antonio Spurs getting 21 national TV games this season, Wembanyama will be a must-watch now that he has a legendary point guard in Chris Paul to work with. 3. Anthony Davis, Los Angeles Lakers. 2023-24 stats: 24.7 points, 12.6 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game. The LA Lakers may not have had a season to remember after another first-round exit, but Anthony Davis had an amazing individual year. The 31-year-old, who has battled injuries for most of his career, is coming off a remarkably productive season in which he played 76 regular season games, a career high at age 30. He made it to the All-Star game for the first time since 2021, and was named to the All-NBA and All-Defensive teams for the first time since 2020. Davis continued his form in the playoffs and was a defensive anchor for Team USA as they won gold in Paris. As he returns to the Lakers, the 31-year-old will be expected to carry the team and exceed expectations, since the roster is clearly not good enough to win a championship. With LeBron James turning 40 this December, Davis's shoulders will be the heaviest they've been since his arrival in LA, as he aims to win his second ring with the Lake Show. 2. Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers. 2023-24 stats: 34.7 points, 11.0 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game. Joel Embiid finally won his first MVP award in the 2022-23 season and looked even better last year, before getting injured midway through the season. He played in 39 games for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they had a 31-8 record in those games. That included a memorable 70-point performance by Embiid against Wembanyama's Spurs. The Cameroonian star returned for the playoffs, but was unable to help the 76ers defeat the Knicks. 76ers 23-24 stats with and without Joel Embiid. Aside from his 50-point performance in Game 3, Embiid wasn't able to lead his team to victory when they needed him to. The 76ers are hoping that the addition of Paul George will take some of the pressure off of Embiid during the regular season and allow him to stay healthier. After being an integral part of Team USA's gold medal run at the Olympics, Embiid will be hoping to carry that over to the 76ers' title aspirations while dealing with a tremendous amount of pressure to finally deliver in the playoffs. 1. Nikola Jokić, Denver Nuggets. 2023-24 stats: 26.4 points, 12.4 rebounds, and 9.0 assists per game. Nikola Jokić is still the best player in basketball right now. Coming off his third MVP season in 4 years, Jokić has already established himself as the greatest international player to grace the NBA. The 2023-24 regular season was another historic campaign for him. He finished second in the league in total assists, third in rebounds, fifth in points, and eighth in steals, marking the first time in league history that a player had finished in the top 10 in all 4 categories. However, the postseason wasn't the same for him as the previous season, as the Timberwolves planned to stop Jokić and the Denver Nuggets worked perfectly. After the heartbreak of the Olympics and coming back with only a bronze medal, Jokić will be motivated to bounce back, even if the Nuggets did nothing to help him get back to the finals. They probably don't stand a chance unless the Joker goes on another crazy carry job campaign. Thanks for watching, like, and subscribe for daily updates.